Psychopathy is a personality disorder characterized by persistent antisocial behavior, impaired empathy and remorse, and bold, disinhibited, and egotistical traits. Spotting a psychopath in the workplace can be challenging because they often exhibit a high degree of superficial charm and manipulation skills. However, there are specific behaviors and patterns that can serve as red flags. Superficial charm and glibness. Psychopaths are often very charming and charismatic. They have the ability to make a good first impression and are often very persuasive. For example, a colleague who is always smooth-talking, excessively flattering, and seems too good to be true might be exhibiting superficial charm. They might impress superiors easily and seem to have an answer for everything. Lack of empathy and remorse. Psychopaths do not feel empathy and often display a blatant disregard for others' feelings. They also do not feel guilt or remorse for their actions. For example, a coworker who takes credit for others' work without feeling bad, or who bullies others without showing any signs of guilt, may lack empathy. They might manipulate colleagues without any concern for the emotional consequences. Grandiose sense of self-worth. Psychopaths often have an inflated sense of their own importance. They believe they are superior to others and often exaggerate their achievements and abilities. For example, an employee who constantly talks about their accomplishments, belittles others' contributions, and exaggerates their role in successful projects might exhibit a grandiose sense of self-worth. Pathological lying. Psychopaths are often compulsive liars. They lie easily and often, and they are very good at it. They use lies to manipulate and control others. For example, a colleague who is frequently caught lying, even about trivial matters, or who constantly changes their story might be a pathological liar. They may lie to cover up mistakes or to gain some advantage. Manipulativeness. Psychopaths are highly manipulative and can easily influence and control others to achieve their own ends. They often use charm, deceit, or intimidation to get what they want. For example, an employee who consistently manipulates situations to their benefit, such as by pitting colleagues against each other or by using flattery to gain favor with superiors, is likely highly manipulative. Impulsivity and irresponsibility. Psychopaths often act on impulse without considering the consequences. They are also typically irresponsible, failing to honor commitments or obligations. For example, a coworker who frequently makes rash decisions without consulting others, misses deadlines, or fails to follow through on promises may be exhibiting impulsivity and irresponsibility. Parasitic lifestyle. Some psychopaths exhibit a parasitic lifestyle, relying on others for financial support or taking advantage of others' hard work. For example, an employee who rarely does their share of work, constantly borrows money without repaying it, or takes credit for others' efforts might be living a parasitic lifestyle. Failure to accept responsibility. Psychopaths rarely accept responsibility for their actions. They often blame others or make excuses for their behavior. For example, a colleague who always has an excuse for their mistakes, blames others for their failures, or refuses to admit wrongdoing is likely failing to accept responsibility. Case study. The charming CEO. A CEO who exhibited superficial charm, manipulation, and lack of empathy managed to rise quickly in a company. Despite their unethical behavior, such as manipulating financial reports and taking credit for others' work, they maintained their position due to their charm and persuasive skills. Eventually, their lack of empathy and pathological lying led to the company's downfall when their fraudulent activities were exposed. Research by Dr. Robert Hare. Dr. Robert Hare, a leading expert on psychopathy, developed the Hare Psychopathy Checklist Revised, PCLR, a psychological assessment tool used to diagnose psychopathy. His work highlights the key traits of psychopaths, including superficial charm, lack of empathy, and manipulativeness. A book called Snakes in Suits by Dr. Paul Bobiak and Dr. Robert Hare provides a comprehensive look at how psychopaths operate in corporate settings. It outlines their behaviors, strategies for manipulation, and the impact they can have on organizations. The authors provide real-life examples and strategies for dealing with corporate psychopaths. Another interesting book called The Wisdom of Psychopaths by Kevin Dutton explores the concept of psychopathy and its manifestations in various settings, including the workplace. Dutton discusses the traits that make psychopaths successful in certain professions and provides insights into their behavior. Identifying a psychopath in the workplace requires careful observation of their behavior and interactions. Key traits such as superficial charm, lack of empathy, manipulativeness, and a grandiose sense of self-worth can serve as red flags. Understanding these characteristics and being vigilant can help mitigate the potential harm caused by workplace psychopaths.